I'm Randy.
I'm Steven.
This is Three Guys, One Couch.
Our friend Jagger couldn't make it today because he went home to Africa to visit his family for Christmas. Get home soon, Jag.
Is he really in Africa?
Yeah, he's from Zimbabwe. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
I swear.
What the... This is crazy. Anyway, we're talking about Tim Tebow today and the quarterback carousel, the whole controversy that's been going on all year there. What was your initial thoughts when Greg McElroy was named the starter?
I was happy because Tim Tebow is terrible. Tim Tebow is the worst quarterback in the NFL possibly. His completion percentage is always under 50%. He's terrible. That whole fad that they had with the spread option, Tebow running the ball, it's not going to work this year. They're going to key in on his runs, and he cannot throw the ball to save his life. Greg McElroy is by far a better quarterback.
You got to be kidding me, right?
No, I'm being dead serious.
Did you just
Tim
really
Tebow
spew all that
is
crap out of your mouth?
Tim Tebow is horrendous.
I can't believe you just said that. That's complete blasphemy. Why would you say that about one of the biggest spark plugs in the NFL?
Yeah, he's such a
Did
spark
you
plug.
see he won 7 out of 8 games last year?
He didn't beat the Patriots in the 2 matches he had then.
The Denver Broncos were 1-4 when he took over.
Playing the weak AFC West.
Well, get your division right before you come with your argument.
Well, now he's in the weak AFC East, and he ain't even in the game. Because he's terrible.
He's not terrible. He's just a bad practice player. He's a gamer. He shows up to play when the lights are bright and when the stage is big. And he was not given the proper opportunity this year to show what he really can do. I mean, Rex Ryan should have learned his lesson firsthand when he saw him drive 90 yards on Thursday Night Football in front of everybody. Game was tight. Game was on the line. Had to go 90 yards down the field, and he drove them all 90 yards. Right in front of Rex Ryan, right in front of him. And then Tony Sparano was the first victim last year, the offensive coordinator.
Tim Tebow was carried by the running game and that defense.
No way.
He lucked into a lot of them
Ball
wins.
control. He was one of the best at ball control last year, which obviously Sanchez cannot do.
What about the terrible fumbles by Chicago? Chicago handed that game to Tim Tebow.
You know, Tim Tebow took that game over. The supposedly bonded Chicago defense, he threw all over him, led his team back, and they got the victory.
What else? All over him for what? 40%. What about that one game he played where he was like, what was he like? 2 for? Was it against Kansas City when he was like 2 for 11?
No, he was not 2 for 11. There was a clutch moment in the game. He needed to make a play. He made his play. He made a play, and his team won. What else do you want from him? What else do you want from your starting quarterback? Other to win games. Isn't that the name of the game, is to win?
High completion percentages.
All he does is win.
No, or he would have won all the way through the Super Bowl.
Well, fair enough. Because his defense failed to show up against the New England Patriots.
And that offense failed to show up against New England.
No, did you not watch the first meeting with the New England Patriots? He was playing fantastic. Playing fantastic. And then his defense let him down. When he needed his defense to show up, they let him down in every critical situation.
Did you not watch the second New England game in the playoffs when it really mattered?
Yeah, he was
horrendous. He was terrible.
Yeah, that defense allowed 5 touchdowns in the first quarter. What is he supposed to do about that?
Get better.
Do you want him to play safety too?
What, he can't match Tom Brady throw for throw? He can't match him because he's not a quality quarterback.
Well, he's obviously not Tom Brady. Tom Brady, 3-time Super Bowl champion, multiple-time MVP. I mean, what do you want him to do? He's not Tom Brady. He's not a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's a quarterback that's going to control the ball, not turn it over, and then when you need him in crunch time, he's going to be there for you, and he's going to pull out. Whatever you need him to do in the fourth quarter, he's going to be there. If
he was that good, Rex Ryan would have inserted him. There's no way you leave a player that good on your bench and not play him.
Well, that's a testament to how bad of a coach Rex Ryan is. If he's not willing to put Tim Tebow in the game and put his trust in him and keep his faith in Mark Sanchez, which has 50 turnovers over the last 2 years, I don't know there's nothing Tebow can do. I mean, there's nothing he can do if the coach doesn't have faith in him to put him in the game.
Mark Sanchez is a better quarterback. He just struggled this year because he had the whole Tebow mania behind him, and it ruined his entire season.
You got to be kidding me.
If you take Tebow off that team this year, they're a playoff team, and Mark Sanchez would have let him there.
If you would have put Tebow in, they would have been a playoff team.
I don't believe so.
That's completely absurd. Why? What makes you say that?
Because Tebow is not a quality quarterback. Look at his QBR. It's terrible.
No, his QBR is higher than Mark Sanchez. and Mark Sanchez is the starting quarterback. Mark Sanchez is 36th in QBR.
Look at last year, though. Take Tebow off that team. Last year, his QBR was higher than Tim Tebow's.
Not in the fourth quarter. Tim Tebow had the highest QBR in the last 5 minutes of games in the NFL. That's higher than Tom Brady. That's higher than Aaron Rodgers. That's higher than Eli Manning, who's supposed to be the comeback kid. Mr. Fourth Quarter Magic Eli Manning. Higher than all those quarterbacks. I mean, what do you want Tebow to do? What more can
Show
you
up
do?
for the first 55 minutes, not just the last 5.
Well, as long as his team's in the game and he takes care of the ball, which Mark Sanchez obviously can't do with 50 turnovers the last 2 years, he takes care of the ball and he's there in crunch time. There's nothing more that I would want out of my quarterback.
He was carried by that running game. They were number 1 in the league.
Yeah, and they were not number 1 before he was inserted into the lineup.
That's because they had to run the ball to protect him, to protect his horrible passing. Mr. Tim Tebow, I throw passes at your feet.
Yeah, is that rush defense number 1 in the NFL in Denver this year? No, they're not. That was the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL when Tebow was himself.
Because they don't have
600 yards rushing himself.
But was that passing attack last year with Tebow as powerful it is this year with Peyton Manning?
He rejuvenated Willis McGahee's career. And imagine if he would have had no Sean Marino. He was playing with Lance Ball at one point last year and still had the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL.
And the horrible passing attack.
No, I just...
It wasn't as good as it is this year.
You're speaking...
Because you have a real quarterback in Denver now. Peyton Manning,
Well,
Tim
yeah,
Tebow shouldn't even be mentioned in the same sentence as Peyton
They
Manning.
have the greatest regular season quarterback of all time.
And Tim Tebow's one of the worst.
Second. Now you've put Tebow in the comparison with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. I mean, that's pretty good company if you want to start comparing Tom.
There's no comparison. They're head and shoulder way better than Tim Tebow.
Well, I can't argue with that too much. I mean, those are 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Tim Tebow is a backup quarterback.
No, I disagree. He led his team to the playoffs. They were 1-4 when he took over last year.
The only thing he's going to be leading from now on is maybe a Canadian Football League team.
So you don't think Tim Tebow will win the NFL?
Who's going to want him?
There's plenty of teams that should have won him.
Like who?
I'm looking at Jacksonville.
Jacksonville didn't get him last year.
Well, because he had the option. He had the option to go to Jacksonville or New York. And he went to New York because he was promised that he would have a 50-50 shot at becoming the starting quarterback. And that obviously wasn't the case. They obviously were blowing
No,
his
he
smoke.
probably was given a 50-50 chance, but he's such a terrible practice player. Who the hell would want that in their game?
You can't expect him to be a good practice player. They should have known
You
that
should
all
expect
along.
every player to know their damn job and do it in practice.
When he comes to show up to play, I want him in my lineup on game day. That's all that matters because all he does is win games. It's not all he does is a great practice player.
If all he does is win game, he would have won every game last year all the way through the Super Bowl.
He got his team to the playoffs. And he won the first round.
And Mark Sanchez got his team the first 2 years to the AFC Championship
He was
2
playing
years in a
behind
row.
one of the great defenses in the NFL.
Just like the great defense last year, the
I
Denver
disagree.
Broncos.
Obviously, they weren't too good if they allowed 5 touchdown passes in the first half.
Against one of the greatest quarterbacks that our league has ever seen.
See, you're making points. They're not valid points.
They're completely valid.
So you tell me their defense is amazing, and then when I say that Tom Brady throws 5 touchdown passes in the first half, you want to start telling me
Is the Giants team, is the Giants defense that beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl that much better than Denver's?
Yeah, obviously.
No.
Maybe not. They're a lot better.
The
than
reason
this
that Tom Brady scored so many touchdowns so fast is because that Denver offense couldn't move the ball to score them. They just kept giving the ball back to New England, giving the ball back to New England.
They were moving the ball a little bit. I mean, it wasn't like Tebow was
If
just a turnover machine.
they moved it so much that New England got 5 possessions in the first quarter. That doesn't happen if your offense moves the ball and gets a long, steady drive.
Well, the defense should have played better. It was such a vaunted defense, and they allowed 5 touchdown passes in the first half. But that's irrelevant. I'm talking about the here and now. Tebow deserves an opportunity to show what he has, and it's a disgrace that Greg McElroy is starting these last 2 games. At the very least, Rex Ryan should have gave Tebow the opportunity to start these last 2 games to audition for future teams because he's the one that got him to New York in the first place because he had the option between Jacksonville and New York. So now he should give Tebow the opportunity to audition and to give other teams, his future teams, a look and see what they're really going to get.
What about Greg McElroy? Doesn't he deserve the chance so the Jets can see what they got moving forward? Maybe he's their franchise quarterback. If Tebow's not going to be there, why the hell should they give him a chance?
He's not a franchise quarterback if they've had him inactive all year. The only time they activated Greg McElroy was when Tebow was injured.
And they pulled Sanchez because they have more faith in McElroy than they do in Tebow.
Well, that's why Rex Ryan's probably not going to be coaching much longer. I think Tebow he should and will get another opportunity to start in the NFL next year because I believe he's going to go to Jacksonville.
Mark my words, Tim Tebow will be out of the NFL next year.
Blasphemy. He will be you think he's going to be out of the NFL?
Yes.
Not even backing up somewhere?
No way.
That's completely moronic.
He will be in the Canadian Football League.
Well, I guarantee you he will be in Jacksonville, Florida, starting for the the Jacksonville Jaguars Game 1 next year. Mark my words.
We'll see. We will come back to this video, and you will look like a complete fool.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that's all we have for today. Follow the annotations on the video.
Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter. The annotations below. Our name. Let's see, like right here. It's my name. I am Randall. But that's all we have for this time. Make sure you look on Facebook. Keep up with this. Share these videos out to your friends.
Leave comments, likes.
Y'all, leave comments. Where do you stand on this whole Tebow situation? Do you think he'll be in the NFL next year? Think he'll be in the Canadian Football League like this moron thinks? I think he's going to be in Jacksonville. Let us know where you think Tebow will be next year. But that's all we have for this time. We'll see you next time.
See you later.